Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. In this video we're going to talk about probably my biggest accomplishment in AFK journey. I've managed to clear all Apex stages, yes, even the incredible wall of a stage that was 1183, the Phantimal stage with the statues, which we're going to talk about, but we did manage to clear it after a lot of effort and basically perseverance, and this is the first time ever I'm actually in the rank 1 position, because my guildmate is an absolute beast at pushing stages. So, I want to talk about AFK stage pushing and how I have enjoyed it, but also I want to begin by talking about how I believe some stages, especially the statue stages we've had, like there were ones at 1112, 1113, and the worst offender is 1183, which have just been major damage checks, basically relying on the sword word spell to deal damage based on your team attack in order to kill the opponents. And so, for example, if you don't have basically a full Paragon 4 account, it's very, very difficult, if not really close to impossible. Like, it has been cleared by some people even with lower investment, but it's just even much harder. So why was this stage so bad? The thing is, the statues themselves are not the major problem. It's actually that Atalanta deals massive nuking damage. If she gets off a single ultimate, she's gonna wipe out people on your team, and you're not gonna be able to clear the stage. So basically what you have to end up doing is you have to have Baelran chain crowd controlling, like with this knockup, to prevent Atalanta from ever getting off her ultimate. Then on top of that, you also want to force or try to get Atalanta to jump into a front position so Baelran can begin hitting her and weaken her down, because there's also that damage checkpoint. So I ran this stage over 5 hours before I managed to get the clear, and I got quite a few runs, maybe close to even 10 runs, which got really close, like literally leaving the enemy at 1 health or things like that. And so when I saw that happen, I was like, okay, I know it's possible for me. I just have to put in the time to grind the stages, get the RNG to line up, and then we can make it happen. So here is a replay where we did actually manage to clear it, and I'm going to break it down. So in the earlier stage, basically, I had most heroes on just auto, but the Hugins are always going to be on manual. For the whole battle, I have the Hugins casting on themselves, so self-casting, and it will obviously be on manual. So in the early few seconds of the stage, what we do is, as soon as Hugins ultimates are up, we just use them, as you see here. Baelran is still on auto, Valara and Kulu are on auto. And then what we're going to do for the second round of ultimates of Hugin, we actually wait for this one a bit. Wait for the Kulu to cast her ultimate first. And this was a strategy shared by Shadow, basically. Shadow is one of the best pushers in all of, basically, AFK Journey for stages. Yeah, so this is what I was following. So we have the Hugin ulting along with Kulu, and then the other Hugin going to ult on himself. Now, the thing is, even if you follow exactly what I'm doing in this replay, because of the RNG elements we were talking about, like Atalanta jumping forward and things like that, it's still going to take you multiple runs until you actually get are able to pull things off. So it's not just like, you know, you follow this strategy and you're going to clear it. It's the Atalanta RNG of jumping and also needing to be knocked out by Baelran. So what we're going to do here is still Baelran's on auto, but now I turn him on manual, and I'm going to hold his ultimate. You're going to see here. So whenever Hugin's ultimate are off, they're just going to cast on themselves, as you guys see here. And now I'm going to hold Baelran's ultimate, because basically what's going to happen here at 66 seconds, or actually at 68 seconds, Kulu is going to reapply a boulder in the center. Okay, and then we'll have to break the boulder. And what we're saving Baelran's ultimate for is, as soon as this boulder breaks, I'm going to cast Baelran's ultimate to basically, because it freezes him in place, right? So he's going to stay on our side of the battlefield rather than walking into the enemy territory. And then it's going to force the enemies to walk up towards him. That was basically just a position manipulation. Like, this was also a strategy recommended by Shadow. And that's what I was following. And from this point on, though, is basically on my own. I'm on my own, and I'm just going to have to, like, you know, get the RNG and have things work out. So whenever the Hugin's ultimates are up, I am going to cast them, as you guys see here. And Baelran, I'm holding Baelran. Kulu is still on auto, but Shadow told me later that probably you should try to time Kulu's ultimate as well, so that You can try to interrupt her eat ups with the bomb. It's too high level mechanics for me. I just had to go. I just kept it on auto, and then eventually it worked out. But so I'm holding the Baleine ultimate until like Valara's magic circle is active. And then we break the boulder again. And now what I saw from Shadow's replays, now his Baleine walks up and then he casts the ultimate. So I'm trying to do the same thing. I want my Baleine to walk up, but he doesn't walk up because of these blossoms or things. They walk up instead. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm already not really following the replay that Shadow managed to clear it with. So now we're just going to begin casting. So now what I do is you go Baleine ultimate into Hugin ultimate. So Baleine into Hugin. Hugin is still ulting on himself. We never once place a Hugin ultimate on anyone other than himself. It's always on himself. But we're just comboing it together with the Baleine because then that's going to get more sword word procs. If you see it here, and because my other Hugin was up as well, I just had the chain. It was like a chain reaction. We do Baleine into Hugin 1 into Hugin 2, right? That's what we did. And getting some sword word procs. And now Baleine is going to charge energy so rapidly, as you guys see, because he's taking so much damage, that he's actually going to be able to get off 2 ultimates for each 1 ultimate of the Hugins. So that's what I'm doing. I'm getting the Baleine, and then I'm saving the Hugins to combo with the Baleine. This isn't necessarily optimal. Actually, what would have been the best strategy and what I use in other like attempts of this stage is having Baleine ult with 1 Hugin and then staggering the other Hugin so that the next Baleine ult goes with the second Hugin. And then you just always get a Baleine Hugin. But because my Hugins are going together, I was like, okay, let's just wait for Baleine and then do the same chain reaction of Hugin into Hugin with the sword word procs getting that. And obviously that's value. Because whenever Baleine ults first, it seems like it almost guarantees a trigger of the sword word for whatever reason. And then Hugins can just, you know, add on top of that, like by freezing the time. Okay. So we're going to keep on doing that strategy, but like we said, we're going to do 2 Baleine ultimates for each 1 Hugin ultimate because he's charging energy so fast. We get another chain, as you see here, Baleine into Hugin, and you're going to see, where is Atalanta? So we got lucky, we kept knocking, like, this is the thing, right? The timing of the knock of a Baleine has to be perfect, because otherwise what would happen is, like, even though we managed to clear it in this run of it, if Atalanta would have gone 1 ultimate off, she would have nuked my backline and it would be over. I would have to retry. So, like, that's why it took me over 5 hours, even using the same strategy, to get the clear. Atalanta's actually up in the like on the right side, which normally you wanted to force her to jump into this left side where my cursor is, but yeah, I couldn't get that force, but like we still got Atalanta out front, which is, it gets the job done, right? So now we're going to do another Baleine into Hugin because they're both like, and we're just getting those sword word procs as you guys see, which is important because if you don't get these extra sword word procs while casting your ultimates, you are not going to have the damage to clear. The enemy is going to live with like 1 health. Okay, we get a knock. Nice. So really, the enemy is grouped up really nicely. Like, this is what you wanted to do, and you just have to fish for it until this grouping happens. We're gonna go Baleine into Hugin, and now my other Hugin. I left my other Hugin behind, so I don't know what I'm doing with this other Hugin. I was thinking, okay, let's just wait for another Baleine ultimate and then combo with the Hugin. Yeah, this gets a little bit messy, but now I guess we can go back to that other staggered strategy of Baleine into Hugin 1, then Baleine into Hugin 2, so that's what my idea was. Getting the sword word procs as you guys see, which is nice. Okay, so we're gonna do Baleine into Hugin 1. Oh no, I just went for the Baleine. I didn't even wait for the Hugin ultimate. I was just like, I think maybe I was a little bit, I don't know. When you get close to clearing, especially when you're like trying with 5 hours, the adrenaline really rises and my heart was beating fast. Like I'm almost getting shaky at the end of the stage, right? Like cause you're like, this might be it. I can finally be done with this stage. So Hugin has his ultimate. I'm like saving him for the Baleine now. Obviously, I think I could have maybe timed those Hugin and Baleine more optimally, but really, I just don't know, like, what is necessarily the optimal strategy. I just always want to have a Hugin followed up by with a Baleine followed up by Hugin. That's what I knew I wanted. So now we have 8 seconds left, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, this could be it, but it also looks a little bit, it looks like it might not happen either. It looks like we might leave them with 1 health, and so I'm really worried here. Baleine into Hugin, nice, we get that kill, and now I'm feeling pretty confident. After that hit right here, 8 seconds left, and now we got those sword word procs under the statue, I'm feeling pretty confident. I think this is gonna be it, right? So what I do is, I save this Hugin ultimate to combo with the Baleine into Hugin, and we get the sword word procs, 4 seconds left, and we're gonna do 1 more Baleine into Hugin to finish it off, I think, or maybe I just Baleine. Yeah, I just solo Baleine because I'm like, it's over. Yeah, so this was even watching it back, like my heart rate is rising because I'm like, this was such a stressful stage. It is because it's a major damage check, and then also it's kind of an RNG check to get the enemies grouped up properly and having Balan repeatedly knock them up so that Atalanta can't cast her ultimate. Atalanta didn't get a single ultimate off. Look at that. This is what you need to happen. If she gets a single ultimate off, your team is wiped. Enough of your allies are going to be wiped that you will not have the damage to finish it off, right? So that is basically the thing. So this stage was absolutely brutal. It is the hardest stage I've ever faced in my life. Now, obviously, that's because this was really the first season and really phase where I started hard pushing. So I'm sure there have been harder stages in the past. But for me, this was my hardest stage, and I do even have high investment, right? So this stage is just brutal. It needs to be, in my opinion, down-tuned and hot-fixed because the players who have Supreme Plus level of upgrades, they should also be able to clear this. And the problem is the phase buffs that you get are just way too minor. Like, I don't know exactly what they're providing. It seems like some really small percentage of increase in stats that really don't make enough of a difference. Yeah, and this stage was really just the most brutal. Like, the other stages up until now, there have been really tough ones, but the players who have even Supreme Plus, plus 20, plus 25 exclusive equipment investment on their key AFK stage heroes with good strategy, they're able to clear it. But here people are hard stuck. And then even with the maxed out account, it's still very RNG and still very difficult. And as for the charms, this is actually really important. You had to double refine basically all the charms ideally on this team. Balan Inside double refined. Faye, I only had one of them double refined because I didn't have enough resources at the time. I did manage to clear the arcane charms. Hugin Mystic charms double refined. Kulu arcane charms double refined. Villar Blast charms double refined. And my Hugin was not crowned, but I did have a crown rep synergy basically. Okay, so that is it. Now I'm going to show you the other stage, which is 1186. This was only 3 stages after. It was another synergy stage, but it was nowhere near as hard as 1183. And this is also important because basically, if you have normal heroes you're facing in the AFK stage, I mean, it can be tough, like especially Igor, Viperon, Lily May, Scarlita, even Damien sometimes. Those are really some of the tough hero enemy opponents. But it's nowhere near the statue level of difficulty. The statues are just ridiculously they're too strong for AFK stages. Because like for this was like a normal AFK stage. You just follow a strategy, like someone shared a replay with me, and I just followed exactly basically the strategy, the ordering of everything, and tried to follow the timing, and you're gonna clear it. So this one, even though this was tough, it took me maybe 15 to 20 minutes, because once you learn the strategy, you're gonna clear it, and you can clear it consistently. The problem with that statue stage is, I mean, the only one who can somewhat clear consistently is Shadow, who's like the best pusher in AFK Journey. And he also, not completely consistent, it still takes him like 30 minutes, maybe more than that. Obviously way more consistent than me. I just have to bash my head against the wall until something sticks. Okay, let's see this here. So we have this, we're going to turn this, so basically the strategy for this stage was, your Brutus is going to take the Lily May, that's important, and there's a bit of RNG in the beginning to just make sure, like, your Saida lives, but if she does, like, probably 50% of the time she will, then what you do is, you have this timing, so Saida, you're going to delay Villar's ultimate, you're going to immediately cast Saida ultimate, and follow it up with Villar's ultimate, because you don't want Villar to be interrupted by the Lily May, you want Saida to be interrupted by Lily May. So Villar is going to ult in the upper right to get that circle. And now, the other heroes are going to be on manual. Mihura's ultimate, you're going to drop down, like, just in the middle of the field here. Or, you drop it down in the middle of the field here, but at around 78 seconds after Balan uses his knock-up. So, you see the knock-up of Balan, he hits his sword up, then he hits his sword down. When his sword touches the ground, I launch Mihura's ultimate. That's basically the timing. Mihura ultimate going to be right here. There we go, boom. And now what you do is you keep Balan on manual. You keep even shadowing Mihura on manual and Saida as well. Villar is on auto though. And then what you do is around 70-second mark, right before Villar ultimates, not combo it, but right before Villar ultimates, you go for the Balan ultimate. So you're going to see it here. You're going to have Balan just on manual. And now I'm going to cast this ultimate at 70 seconds. Right before Villar ultimate, but not comboing it with her. So Valar ultimate followed up by Valar ultimate. Now what we have is we're gonna have everyone also manual. Saida's gonna get her ultimate, and we're gonna attack the topmost enemy target, because that's gonna force a Lucia Phantimal to shift everyone down and group them up. So that's what we're gonna do. Topmost unit, that's gonna shift them down. And then we have the other heroes still on manual, Balin on manual. And now what we're going to do is we're going to turn Valar on manual. And then next Saida ultimate, we're going to combo Saida and Valar together. So see, I'm holding Saida ultimate, holding Valar ultimate. Then immediately when Valar ultimate is up, I go for Saida ultimate, combo it with the Valara, because that just basically saves time in triggering that. And my Saida ultimate was, I didn't really put on anyone specific. I just put on, again, the top unit here. And it was good enough. And then you have all of these heroes on manual. Now, they're going to remain on manual until Valar's magic circle activates around the 52-second mark. And we're going to now cast Baelran into Mihira, into Shadewing. And there we go. And then all we have to do is final Saida ultimate. I turned on auto here just so that as soon as she got the energy, she's going to cast on someone, because it doesn't really matter at this point. She's going to cast it down. And now you can just put everyone on auto and you're all good to go. And you just clean it up. So that was basically it. So there was a little bit of obviously manual required. However, once you learn the pattern of this, it's consistent. And so that's why this stage, even though it was a little bit tough, completely reasonable. The problem is 1183, like, even after clearing it, you know, basically how I see it is a stage has a problem if even after clearing it, you don't know how long it's going to take you for you to clear it again, right? Because there's the RNG requirement of the stage. There have been some other stages like that in this season, but this was just really the most brutal of them all. And unless you're like a mechanical, like next level player, like top level mechanics for AFK stages, it's very difficult to make this consistent. And even then, it's not 100% consistent, right? It will take some attempts until you get a good run to line up. But anyway, guys, that is basically going to be it for this video. Just wanted to share my accomplishment. Oh, I should also show you the charms for this team. The charms for this team were focus on the Brutus. Maybe Insight could work if it's a lower upgraded Brutus. Then Insight onto Baelran, Mystic onto Mihira, Arcane onto Shadewing, Valara with the Blast Charms, and Saida with the Blast Charms. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. I am planning also to maybe try pushing AFK stages more hardcore in the upcoming season, because I've kind of been bitten by the AFK stage bug. Once you start like really trying to push yourself to the limit, overcoming all the challenges, it does get a little bit addictive, and I don't know, it's a real grind, and it's not worth it. Like, in terms of resources you get, it is not worth it, but it can be worth it if like your feeling of satisfaction or accomplishment after you overcome a difficult challenge, if that feeling matters to you or means something to you. So that's basically it. And also, I just do want to, like, you know, I want to try to test myself and challenge myself in all modes of this game to try and, like, reach my full potential. Like, that's just kind of the personality I have. So anyway, guys, let me know how AFK stages are going for you. If you have any other suggestions about maybe how they could fix certain stages. But I definitely think that this stage specifically, the statue stage and some other statue stages we've had, they need to be, in my opinion, fixed or down-tuned. And also, something I really want to happen is on the stages which are like a synergy obligatory, you have to use a 6-man team, basically a synergy team. There have been multiple of those in AFK stages. I think that the synergy replays should be shared in the record formations. Because right now the problem is, if you're not like connected with any of the, you know, Discord communities or anything, you'll run into an AFK stage and be like, well, how do I clear? Because there's no record formation, because it's a synergy. But I think synergy records should also be saved, and that would be really helpful for players, because then they don't have to rely on outside sources basically to figure out, oh, how do am I just stuck for life here? Like even if you're a Paragon 4 player, really good pushing player, but then you don't know about what to do and there's no record formation, you could just be stuck there for days and get confused. So that I think needs to be added. But anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching. That's gonna be it for this one. Share your thoughts in the comment section. That's always interesting to hear about. And if you're thinking about making a purchase in AFK Journey, please use my affiliate link for the official Farlight store. This is the best way you can support me and also gain 5% bonus dragon crystals on your purchase. My affiliate link is in the description of this video in a pinned comment, and you can actually bookmark this link in your browser, and whenever you're planning to make a purchase, just return to the bookmark link and make your purchase. It will support me and be greatly appreciated. So thanks for watching. I'll hopefully see you in the next video, and until then, everyone, peace out for now.